New York Mets vs Miami Marlins. New York is 5-0-4-7 overall this season. They are in third place in the National League East Division. The Mets are 11.5 games back of the Phillies for first place in the division. The Mets hold the final wild card spot, which is tied with the Diamondbacks. The Mets have won 6 of their last 8 games coming into Sunday afternoon. Miami is 34-64 overall this year. They are in last place in the National League East Division. They are 28 games back of the first place Phillies. They are also far back on the wild card standings with 16.5 games back. The Marlins do hold the worst record in the National League, as they are 1.5 games back of the Rockies. The Marlins have lost 6 of their last 8 games coming into Sunday. The Mets and the Marlins have split the weekend series so far, with Sunday's winner taking the 3-game set. New York will get the win on Sunday as they continue their march towards a wild card place. They have been hitting .257 against the Marlins and .267 when playing on the road. New York is also starting Christian Scott, who has an ERA of 4.50 when playing on the road. He will match up well against Miami's Trevor Rogers. The Marlins are 1-9 at home when he starts, as he holds an ERA of 4.37. Take the Mets minus 1.5 runs. On Sunday, the Marlins will start Trevor Rogers. The left-handed pitcher is 1-9 this year with an ERA of 4.72. Rogers has started 19 games this season, with his last appearance coming against the Reds on July 14th. He threw 5.2 innings and allowed 2 runs and 2 hits in a no-decision game where he tossed 4 strikeouts. The Marlins are 4-15 when Rogers has started this season. They are also 1-9 when he has started at home. Rogers has an ERA of 4.37 when pitching at home. He also has an ERA of 4.33 during the day. In 6 games, Rogers holds a 4.78 ERA against the National League East Division. On Sunday, the Mets will start Christian Scott. The right-handed pitcher is 0-2 this season with an ERA of 4.36. Scott has started 8 games this year, with his last appearance coming against the Rockies on July 13th. He threw 4.1 innings, and he gave up 3 earned runs and 7 hits, while striking out 5 batters in a no-decision outing. New York's offense is averaging 3.25 runs when Scott has started. The Mets are 2-6 this year when he has started. Scott has an ERA of 4.50 when playing on the road. He also has a 4.50 ERA when playing during the day. In 3 starts, Scott holds a 6.32 ERA against the National League East. Both starting pitchers have ERAs over 4 runs. Miami's Rogers also has an ERA of 4.78 against the NL East. Scott, for the Mets, has an ERA 6.32 against divisional foes. The Mets and the Marlins are both hitting at over .257 against each other. The offense doesn't look good for Miami as a whole, but I think this could be a good chance for them to tack runs on the board. The Mets' offense is much better away from their home building, too. Take the over on Sunday. San Diego Padres vs Cleveland Guardians. The San Diego Padres have been doing a good job offensively, as they are 11th in the sport with a .727 team ops, while scoring 4.48 runs per game. The speed of the Padres have been doing an okay job on the bases, as they are 13th in the majors with 69 stolen bases on 89 attempts. Left fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. has been hitting great, as he has a .861 team ops with 14 home runs, 59 RBI, 52 runs scored and 5 steals on 7 tries. The Cleveland Guardians have been hitting at an average level, as the team is 12th with a .721 team ops while averaging 4.8 runs per game. Cleveland has been able to get doubles consistently, as they are 11th in the sport with 161 total doubles. Left fielder Stephen Kwan has been hitting extremely well, as he has posted a .920 OPS with 9 homers, 27 RBI, 56 runs scored and 6 steals on 10 tries. When diving into the last 7 starts for both pitchers, there is a significant difference. Michael King is 3-2 with a 2.61 ERA and an 11.51 walk-to-strikeout ratio in 38.0 innings, while Ben Lively is 3-3 with a 4.58 ERA and a 1.18 WHIP in 37.1 innings. The ability to do well offensively leading off an inning is critical, as Cleveland is 28th in the majors with a .637 team ops in those at-bats, while San Diego is tied with the Colorado Rockies for 16th place with a .675 team ops leading off an inning. Go with the San Diego Padres to win on the road in this matchup. When looking at the pitching splits for these starters, they are doing extremely well. Michael King is 6'2 with a 2.74 ERA and a .228 opposing batting average in 62.1 innings, 11 games, 10 starts on the road, while Ben Lively is 5'0 with a 2.55 ERA and a 1.02 whip in 35.1 innings, 5 starts at Progressive Field this season. These offenses as of late show they are not scoring well at all lately, as the Padres are scoring 2.13 runs in their last 8 games, while the Guardians are averaging 3.5 runs in their previous 10 games. All in all, go with under 8.5 runs in this game as the better option. Chicago White Sox vs Kansas City Royals. The Chicago White Sox have been absolutely awful this season, and the 6-1 road loss on Saturday just showed exactly what their season has been. The team was 7 for 33 with 4 walks and 10 strikeouts. Tommy Pham and Luis Robert Jr. each had a double, which was the team's only extra base hits. The team struggled to hit when it mattered the most, as they were hitless in 5 at-bats with runners in scoring position while standing 9 men on base. Jonathan Cannon struggled a bit on the bump as he allowed 4 runs in 6 innings in a losing effort. The Kansas City Royals have been playing at a strong level this year and are looking to climb up the AL Central standings. They were able to pick up a 6-1 home win on Saturday against the Chicago White Sox, and it helped as they were 9 for 32 with 3 walks and 8 strikeouts as a lineup. Bobby Witt Jr. led the way as he went 3 for 4 with a double, a run scored, and ARBI. Kansas City went 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position while leaving 5 Royals on base. Michael Garcia stole a base while Witt Jr. was caught stealing. Brady Singer was able to dominate as he threw 7 shutout innings. The Kansas City Royals are far and away the better team and should be able to showcase their abilities here. Drew Thorpe and Seth Lugo are both pitching incredibly well, but the offenses have been on 2 completely different levels, as the Royals are 13th in the sport with a .713 team ops while averaging 4.6 runs per game, while the White Sox are dead last in Major League Baseball with a .628 team ops while scoring just 3.15 runs per game thus far. The ability to keep the ball in the park is critical as Kansas City is second in the majors with 90 home runs allowed, while Chicago is third highest in the sport with 122 total home runs given up. All in all, take the Kansas City Royals to cover the run line in this game. When looking at the pitching splits throughout the season, these starters are doing well as Drew Thorpe is 2-1 with a 3.92 ERA and a .187 opposing batting average in 4 road starts, while Seth Lugo is 4-2 with a 2.44 ERA and a .244 batting average against in 9 home starts thus far. These lineups are not hitting enough to reach that total as of late, as the White Sox are scoring 2.7 runs in their last 10 games, while the Royals are averaging 5.33 runs in their previous 9. Go with under 8.5 runs in this game as the better bet. Arizona Diamondbacks vs Chicago Cubs. Arizona took care of business in Game 1 as they scored 5 runs on 12 hits. 4 players finished with multiple hits at the plate, with Gabriel Moreno going 3-5. Christian Walker added 2 RBI. Ryan Nelson got the start, and over 5.2 innings he allowed 1 run on 3 hits while striking out 9. Chicago tallied 8 hits on the night, but they could only turn that into 2 runs as the Cubs dropped the series opener. Chicago was led by Nico Horner, who had 3 hits on the day. No other player saw multiple hits in the contest for the Cubs. Justin Steele got the start, and over 4.2 innings he allowed 5 runs on 9 hits while striking out 6. While the Cubs have hit the ball better this month, they have still struggled when it comes to converting those hits into runs. P-Fat has been on this month, and his high strikeout rate will prove another headwind for the Cubs, who strike out at the 22nd highest rate in baseball. Arizona has hit the ball best during the day, and more than half of their extra base hits and home runs are coming on the road this season. Look for the Diamondbacks to take care of business here. Arizona moneyline. Both P-Fat and Imanaga have shown their ability to prove difficult to hit this season. Imanaga had a stretch where he was virtually allowing no runs, and P-Fat has just given up 1 over his 10th July innings. Chicago has struggled with strikeouts all season, and the Diamondbacks have been living off the long ball of late. If that doesn't come, runs could be sparse as they sit 24th in terms of leaving runners stranded. Don't expect much in terms of fireworks here. Take under 7.5 runs.